Sarah Spain, Woody Page, Kevin Blackstone. We had two of the greatest passes in basketball history within a minute of each other last night. Kemba Walker's. Look at this. Yeah, now it's kind of lost for eternity because of Kyle Lowry's. Look at this. He's 17 inches shorter than Taco Fall, who's outstretched and jumping, so he has to get it all over that. An angle in the corner over everything else in the pocket of OG Anunoby for the game winner in 0.5 seconds. Catch and release. We have probabilities for everything now here at ESPN, and I'll give you the exact probability that this play would happen and go through. 0.0000, repeating, of course, 1. Jaylen Brown called Boston's loss a bleeping disgrace. Is there any other kind? I would answer that with. Woody Page, around the horn to you. How did this happen?
It was a miracle, actually. That's how it happened. That when you got that little bit of time left and you've got a guy that's 7'5" between you and the court, and you throw a pass for 55 feet totally across. But it was well planned out based on what the entire team said, that they had 3 options. This was the third option, and actually OG had not tried a shot in the second half. I'm changing the name of this shot, by the way, to Oh God for OG. But how did it happen? I think we see miracles. We've seen it during the campus games down in Florida, and this one was maybe the best of all of them. How did it happen? Because what happened was the opposition was trying to guard around the basket and lost sight of OG. So I think that was the main thing that went down, and Lowry made the right call on who he threw the pass to.
Sarah Spain.
Yeah, I went with OMG Anunoby instead of Oh God Anunoby. Either way, the shot was just as big a part of it, but the pass, it turned you into Cookie Monster, Tony. You were like, look at this. It's crazy to watch. But it was a number of things, right? It was so Brown and Tatum didn't communicate correctly, and neither of them realized that Brown was supposed to stick with her. Tatum told Brown to stick with Anunoby, and he didn't realize it, so he went all the way underneath and around. And Lowry, even though he's the third option on the play that they called, realized that he was there and accurately threw the ball there. Also of note, Lowry taking a key from Chris Paul we saw earlier in the bubble, realizing that there's more room around the sideline in the bubble than an average court because there aren't those fans creeping up. So they're backing up a little bit. That gives them a little bit more space around Taco Fall with those arms. But the timing, the accuracy to put it in the pocket so he can shoot right away in that short amount of time, and then to make the shot, to Woody's point, after not having taken one in so long, all of it plus the stoic reaction, magic.
His Anunoby's stoic reaction, the walk-off, it's a walk-off. It was incredible. And then Lowry coming in for the hug with the biggest cheese you've ever seen. Kevin Blackstone, how did this happen?
Well, one way it happened is that for the first time in this series, Toronto Raptors were hitting their three-point shots, including that very last one. The other way it happened is preparation. Nick Nurse said he got this play from a Hubie Brown instructional video. How old could that be? What, did you stick it in a Betamax machine and watch it? So he pulled that
that's
one out.
great, though.
And as Woody said, it was the third option. But the other smart thing here is he had Lowry inbounds the ball. You're talking about a guy who's comfortable with the basketball, who makes plays, who's a veteran guy, has got a lot of savvy. You go back a couple nights ago and you see what OKC did on their inbounds play. They didn't have a veteran do it, and it messed up the entire end of the game for them. They didn't get the best shot that they probably could have had. So a lot of design, a lot of hats off to Nick Nurse and that team. And just think, we had praised Brad Stevens for the last 5 years for being the genius of the out-of-bounds plays, right? For all the miracles that he seemed to have pulled up. This time, he got the chair pulled from under him on that play.
Well, he is the coach who's got the ring right now. I mean, he's the reigning champion. You brought up Hubie Brown's coaching essentials. Now, in the Betamax, there is no three-point line in the 1970s. So the four-man has wing responsibility. Oh, I love this. I love it. Does this change the series, Woody Page?
Yes, I just want to mention that having covered pro basketball since the 70s, that was the greatest pass I've seen since Fly Williams in an early playoff game in 1972.
I don't know what that is, but I'll take your word for it. Can we look up the video of that? Do we have that?
I think we can find it, but I would say Joe Montana to Dwight Clark was a better pass than this one. But I think it's turned the series around.
Well, you know, mute. Let's go through it then. Let's go through the real pass. Okay, everyone has said Grant Hill to Christian Laettner is the greatest play ever. And I think Part of that's the pass. Part of that might be the shot. We have some others. There's a Jason Kidd to Rex Chapman before he met to Twitter. That was a good one. The Valpo play. Sarah Spain, you want to weigh in? Could this have been the greatest? And let me do the count here. Number one, pass of all time.
Oh, there's too many. And the key is that you got to make the shot. I don't know if you guys agree with me, but there have been some great passes where somebody blew it on the execution. So the shot is just as important as the pass.
I know about somebody making a great pass and other people blowing execution. I do know a little bit about that. How about you, Kevin Blackistone?
Oh, I remember that Valpo shot. That was Sykes to Bryce Drew for the winner. That was an incredible game, incredible pass.
Okay, but here's the problem. You're calling it a shot. And I'm asking you about the greatest inbounds pass.
And that's why I mentioned Sykes.
Okay.
Nobody remembers. I think his name was Jamie Sykes who made that pass.
Well, you remember. Nobody doesn't remember. So here's the point. Here's the point. No one had a 7'5" man jumping up and down with outstretched hands guarding the inbounds. That's why this is the greatest. All right, we're going to move on. Bucks Heat game 3. Let's talk about that. Where is the team that went 52-8? Actually, who was the team that went 52-8? Because Miami looks like that team. Didn't get much from Jimmy Butler, still won game 2. Where's the offense and defense W going to come from is not a question often asked of a team that has the reigning, about to be, 2-time MVP and Defensive Player of the Year. So, Sarah, how much of this and how much of tonight is on Giannis?
I will say that keeping it as close as they did in that game, as much as it hurts in the moment, allows them to create some sort of conversation amongst themselves about that was essentially as good as a win. We had them, right? Some of the things that they needed to fix, including points in the paint, were fixed in that second game. It wasn't enough, which if you're the Heat, then that's what you take away from that game, right? They gave up 52 points in the paint, and it didn't matter. The things that we've seen the Bucks do well that have led them to W's in the past didn't get them one in game 2. It's about matchups. So, of course, it's about Giannis. He needs to play more minutes. He needs to be a defensive stopper on their best guy, whoever that is in the given moment. And, of course, he needs support from other guys. It's not just Giannis. But he needs to be a superstar worthy of 2-time MVP, which we anticipate him getting in order for them to pull out of this.
Kevin, does it need to be more? I mean, think of it this way. If another 2-time reigning MVP can't get out of the second round for the second year in a row, there would be a lot of talk about who that person is. Go ahead,
Oh,
Kevin.
absolutely. No, this is on Giannis, and not in a bad way, but if you are that guy, then you have to put up those kinds of numbers. You can't average less than you've been averaging during the season. You need to put up 30, 40 points a game. You need to put up a triple-double. You need to be a LeBron James. You need to be someone in that conversation. You need to be the guy who gets the ball in the last second, takes the big shot, the dagger shot, and win the game. He really has to put on the Superman cape in order to pull his team out. Now, will he be able to do that? I don't think so, because I think this Heat team is really gritty.
Oh, so you've got Miami tonight. Yep. You can recognize it's all on Giannis. He can put out a triple-double tonight. It's not enough because what? The Bucks are fundamentally flawed in how they are constructed?
What a good mix of veteran talent and young guys. Great mix.
Miami.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And now Woody Page.
Well, everybody's talking about Giannis has got to do a triple-double. How about not fouling on the last play of the game? You're the most valuable player. You've just been named the top defensive player in the NBA, and you make that bad decision there at the very end of the game that allows the Heat to win the game. But let's don't put it all on Giannis. His numbers are down, as Kevin said, from the regular season, about 5-6 points in terms of scoring. So he needs to go for 30, 35 points tonight. But I think that it's more important that he gets more help from them. I mean, Bledsoe has been so. He just has not been a player that's contributing what he should be doing. Middleton has some good numbers, but really when you look at it on both ends of the floor, Middleton hasn't been the 1A player for them. And Lopez is there to bring people out so that Giannis can get around the basket. He's not doing anything offensively. He's supposed to be shooting better from the three-point line like he did in the regular season. He's not contributing enough. Giannis has got to get people around him.
They have a lot of issues. You're right about that, Woody Page, and you're right about the foul, not the foul call. I mean, I'm never making that call if I'm a referee on the floor in the last second of a game. But he's constantly in foul trouble, and in between having 4 and 5 and 6 fouls. Sarah Spain, just to drill down deeper here on Giannis, you heard what Richard Jefferson said. All right, I'm going to say it. He's a Pippen, not a Jordan. That's what Richard Jefferson has made, the NBA Finals, an all-star team in this league. Is that what's in play here right now?
I think it's way too early to say that about a guy that we're still seeing make tremendous progress, especially considering that it took Michael Jordan himself several years to get out of those earlier rounds and to finally win that title. I think, to Woody's point, Giannis doesn't have a Scottie Pippen, right? We didn't see Michael win without Pip, and Giannis doesn't have one. Bledsoe's on one leg. Middleton's a nice player, but he doesn't have the 1A player that so many other superstars have that buoy them into looking more definitively like a superstar. I think that conversation is, first of all, too early, and second of all, ignores the fact that he doesn't have that partner to go along with that makes him look better.
KB, you want to try wrapping your arms around that?
I just feel bad for Scottie Pippen sitting at home on the couch eating popcorn. All of a sudden, his name gets dragged into this.
Yeah.
What's up with that?
Yeah, the Last Dance and now this.
Exactly.
Yo, come on, man.
No, I don't think that's a fair comparison. I mean, if you're going to compare him to Scottie Pippen, the comparison really should be to Michael Jordan in terms of his leadership on the court for the team. He's got to put up the big numbers. He's not a second fiddle guy. He is a lead guy, and that's the way he's got to play.
And Woody Page.
Well, and there have been a lot of guys throughout the history. I mean, go back to Wilt Chamberlain. There were a lot of guys that did not have their Scottie Pippen, but he's not obviously the number 2 guy. Who are you going to go out and get that's better than a 2-time MVP and a Defensive Player of the Year? Nobody. He is a 1AA kind of guy. And it is a matter, as Sarah and I both talked about, he needs more help around him. He needs that Pippen. He is not Pippen. Jefferson's observation was pointless. He even brought LeBron James in talking about him being Pippen to Wade. And LeBron reacted by saying, why am I in the middle of this? He's right.
Okay. Think back to those early Cavs teams, though. LeBron making the finals. Did he have a Pippen on those teams?
No.
He didn't have a Pippen on those teams. He still got to the finals, and you get to see Giannis out of the second round. All right, taking a break right here. We'll be back in 1, 2, 3 wonderful minutes. Adrian Peterson, NFL news of the day, cut by Washington. Could this be the end for an all-time great? Kevin Blackistone, you're in D.C. Did this surprise you? Was this fair to Peterson? And if it is the end, where does Peterson rank all-time among running backs?
Well, it's no surprise they've got 2 young running backs, both of whom Adrian Peterson has been praising, and they're trying to go in a new direction. You know that whole story, a new coach, new coaching staff, so it's not surprising. Will he get picked up by somebody? Maybe not, maybe later on, because running backs always go down. And where is he on the all-time list? Well, he's a Hall of Fame running back. Had one of the great comeback stories of all time in the game. Rookie of the year, MVP, 5th all-time in rushing yard. Great running back.
Woody Page?
KB, I'll tell you the direction they're going in, further down. I mean, this made no sense whatsoever. You got 4 running backs left. We don't know anything about any of them. Bryce Love, after being drafted out of Stanford, he hasn't played because of the knee injury. They brought in a guy named Gibson who was a wide receiver, and they expect him to be their number 1 running back. This is a team in disarray, on the field and off the field, and we really think they're going to be any good at all? No, they should have kept him. He was at least 1,940 yards in the last 2 years, 12 touchdowns. Give me a break.
Sarah Spain?
Yeah, I'm a little closer to Woody's reaction to this. I'm just surprised. He led the team the last 2 years. He was taking number 1 reps. We hadn't been hearing things out of camp that he had lost a step or that he was being overtaken by these young guys. I understand wanting to see what the other younger guys have. I don't know about just cutting him on the occasion that those younger guys don't have much to prove. As for where he sits all time, I think KB mentioned 5th all time in rushing yards and 4th all time in rushing touchdowns. Yeah. He's up there in
so
the
he's
best
in the top
ever.
5 for sure.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Now, I mean, the question is, does he have anything left in the tank? And my answer to that would be, there is no tank with Adrian Peterson. Yeah, it's just free-flowing gasoline through his body and veins and whatever. I mean, for him to come back like he did, and that was years ago in his mid-30s. I mean, he can get you 1,000 yards when he's 50. We'll move on. Buy or sell too? Oh, from New England. I love this story. Bill Belichick today said, we are not naming starters at positions. Seemingly, he did not like the reports yesterday that announced Cam Newton starter and captain. Belichick not naming a starter today? How did you hear that, Sarah Spain?
To me, it feels like maybe he was hoping people would keep guessing right up until first snap of the first game because of what we'd heard about the Jarrett Stidham era. And, I think Cam's got enough confidence that he doesn't need Bill to be singing his praises and saying he's the starter right up until then. I think he knows he can downplay it, and Cam still feels good about it heading in.
Woody Page, how did you hear Belichick today?
It sounded like a pitchman for Subway sandwiches. But, really? The Miami Dolphins are down there saying, I wonder who's going to start. Let's maybe prepare for Cam Newton, but the coach is not going to name him. That's stupid. Go ahead and say it. Everybody knows it.
Yeah, and how about you, Black?
Yeah, Cam wasn't brought there to walk around with a clipboard, right? We all know why he was there. Being captain, maybe that's something maybe you didn't see coming. But come on, starting quarterback, stop. Who else were they going to go with? Stidham, Hoyer? Stop it.
Right. So we've all come to this opinion, right? And we all seem to believe this was it's not a con, but it's a little bit of Belichickian gameplay, don't you think? Yep. And just for that advantage, what is the advantage, really? As Woody said, what is it, the first play of the first possession against Miami in week? Oh, we had no idea. And then Cam Newton played along with it perfectly. Right, but Newton played along with it. He said, oh, no, this play looks like calculus. And none of us put it together. Newton invented calculus. He's got this covered. We'll move on. Buy or sell 3. The Kemba Walker pass. The Kyle Lowry pass. And this Nikola Jokic pass happened all within, like an hour of each other last night. These are things of beauty. That was the only thing of beauty for Denver yesterday. Understandably, maybe they were tired. Clippers ran them off the court. Woody, this is your account. Was it just too much to expect for Denver after going 7 games a series before? Or is this how the series is going to go?
Don't call them your Nuggets because they're not mine anymore. My takeaway from the game last night, there was no takeaways by the Nuggets. They had no idea defensively how to go against the Clippers. This series, as my friend Bill Plaschke would say, it's over with. The Nuggets have no chance against that.
If we wanted Plaschke, Aaron and Solomon would schedule Plaschke today, but thank you for your analysis. Kevin Blackistone, how about you?
Well, let's just say they're in for a long haul in this particular series. They look like they were out of gas. Jamal Murray could be his 50-point self all of a sudden. And the Clippers all healthy now? Wow, they're for real.
Yeah, all right. So you think they're in for a long haul. Woody's not even giving you that. Sounds like, Woody, you want this series to be over in 3. So you get, okay. And how about you, Sarah Spain?
I can't believe Woody just jumping off his own bandwagon within one game. I think the Clippers are going to win. I think especially getting Pat Bev defensively is going to be huge for them. But we can't downplay what we saw from the Nuggets in that first series. And I think once they get a little bit more rest, we can expect a bit more fight from them.
Sarah Spain. An early elimination for you. Thank you so much last week, Sarah.
No long haul.
Chipping in for me. Yeah. Woody Page, Kevin Blackistone. Showdown in 2 minutes. Ja Morant, Rookie of the Year. Here's what the voting looked like. Morant first with all but one first-place vote and 498 points. Kendrick Nunn second, 204 points. Zion Williamson third, 140 points. Kevin, voters get it right?
Yeah, they got it right. You thought they were going to give it to Zion? Hey, if you're going to make the club, you can't be in the tub. That's the problem. Always hurt.
Kevin, they didn't get it totally right. Morant should have gotten all 100 votes. Zion, he didn't play much. He wasn't that great. He was a little bit out of shape, and Nunn got none. I think should have been 100-0.
All right. I think Blackistone's joke was better, so point Blackistone. Here's the line you missed, Woody. Ja won, and Zion was second to none. We'll move on. Showdown 2. The 6 greatest words in sports. Game 7, Game 7, Game 7, Game 7. Avs, Stars, Canucks, Golden Knights, Flyers, Islanders, all going 7. What hacked the Hubble Hrot, and who you got, Woody Page?
I got my Avs winning about right now. I've got the Las Vegas Knights because that's exactly what it is. And I got the Islanders, who I think people aren't really giving enough attention to.
Well, I got the Islanders because they got Barry Trotz, who should be here. I'll take your Avalanche, but I'm not going with the Knights because they're going up against that goalie who stopped 90 of the last 91 shots. Come on, not going to beat him.
He's a rookie.
Yeah,
he's a rookie.
Sure. That goalie, if you had a name, you'd get a point.
Simcoe.
Kevin Blackistone. Oh, Oh, KB, I had no idea you had it in you. Point Stone, showdown 3, let's go. We spent all day talking about this pass, this shot, that shot. How about this shot? Matteo Berrettini around the net. This is legal. Should it be legal, Woody?
No, of course it should be. We see in baseball that foul balls come back into play. In basketball, KB can even shoot it over the basket from the
But you still
backside.
got to at
Yes,
least
of
put
course
the ball
it's
in
legal.
the basket. What's the point of having a net if you can hit the ball around it? That's ridiculous. You know what they should do? Just spin the whole thing
Blackistone.
from stand to stand.
Dominant showdown from KB. 30 seconds of FaceTime.
My man Joe Drape at the New York Times did a great story on a guy by the name of Greg Harbert, who you'll hear about this weekend. He's one of the few black thoroughbred owners. He'll be running in the Kentucky Derby with a horse named Necker Island. But people wanted him not to do it to protest the killing of Breonna Taylor. And I'm saying he should ride. Put a Black Lives Matter blanket on your horse. You know what? Let people know that Breonna Taylor's name needs to be remembered. Remember what Tommy Smith said when he went to the Olympics in '68. If we can't be seen, we can't be heard. Be seen, be heard.
Thank you for that, Kevin Blackstone. Woody Page, I believe you have 7 straight derbies. You picked the winner. Who's going to win?
Tis the Law, followed by Honor AP. In third place will be Max Kellerman or
Who's winning?
Max Player.
Can't
Tis the
hear
Law.
you. Go.